What an incredible comeback by Inter Miami to beat Orlando City 3-1 in the Leagues Cup semifinal in order to make it to the final of Leagues Cup. And Orlando City had been a thorn in Inter Miami side all of 2025. They beat them two times prior to this match, and it looked like it was going to be more of the same in the beginning of this game. But Lionel Messi, Inter Miami, able to prevail, come back and win, and advance to the Leagues Cup final. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what happened in this match. Let's start off with the first half. The first half was not completely bad in the beginning. It looked pretty decent, pretty evenly well matched by both of these teams. But the one thing that you noticed was that Orlando City's attack was giving Inter Miami trouble. They just looked faster. They were catching Miami off guard. And they just looked like they could be trouble if they were able to convert any chances, if they were able to finish in the final third. You know, Miami have attacking talent. They've got Luis Suárez. They've got Lionel Messi. They have some pieces. They don't have the pieces out wide that they need, I think, to be as effective. But they do have pieces in the attack. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. With your help, I know we will reach that goal. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. Now, back to the video. And one thing they did differently in this game was they didn't start Tadio Allende, who we'll talk about later. They started Baltasar Rodriguez, and I think he made an immediate impact for Inter Miami in this match. Now, as far as players in the first half who I think was detrimental to Inter Miami, I think we have to talk about Maxi Falcone. I think Maxi Falcone was the worst player for Inter Miami in this game, but he was really bad in the first half. He was like a turnstile. He was getting cooked by Luis Muriel, the striker for Orlando City, and it just looked like he was a lot slower, and he's younger. He's like 8 years younger than Luis Muriel. He was just getting caught. His head was on a swivel, okay? The back line was giving issues, and that's another reason why, not just because Orlando's attack was explosive, but it was because Inter Miami did not look prepared to defend against their attack. So, and then you have Martin Ojeda, who's one of the most underrated players in MLS, the best player for Orlando City. He had some incredible passes in this game, in chances he was creating for Orlando City. But so I want to say it was maybe like 20, 25 minutes in, he had this beautiful flick, Martin Ojeda did, to Angulo on the left side. And Angulo he's an absolute bullet. He's super quick, very pacey winger for Orlando City, running down the left side of the flank. And that was an issue for Inter Miami in this game. The right side for Inter Miami, left side for Orlando City, they were just getting exposed. Ian Frey and Lujan just were not able to maintain them. But there was this one play where Martin Ojeda flicked it to Angulo, and he had a wide open one-on-one chance because he just blew by. I think it was Ian Frey, one-on-one with Ustari, and he couldn't convert the chance. He went wide right. He should have scored that. And I'm going to look back on this game as missed opportunities by Orlando City. And there was a controversial thing that happened later in this game that we'll talk about as well that happened in the second half. But in the first half, there was pretty much a stalemate. It was a stalemate in the first half for the most part, right? I think Baltasar Rodriguez, I have to mention him. I thought he was the best player for Inter Miami in the first half, like I maybe mentioned that earlier, but he was the best player. Made a huge difference instead of Tadio Allende. Huge difference. I hope we get to see him start more because that's the guy that I just kept noticing for Inter Miami in the first half. But before the half ends, Maxi Falcone, who I said was the worst player in the first half, gets caught on an island and exposed. And Pasalic, the ball bounces off of it looked like maybe they're saying it was a handball, maybe off his arm, but it was off his chest. And he scores at the stoppage time in the first half and puts him up 1-0. And you're kind of thinking, this is not good. Because Inter Miami, one of the things about them is, like I say, it's all the time. When they score one, they don't just score one. They score two. They score three. They score four, right? But they had scored in this game, and the attack looked a little bit lethargic, not able to convert chances. They just didn't look as good as they possibly could look. So with them being up 1-0 and dominating the first half, more shots on target, more shots on goal, Orlando City. I think they outshot Inter Miami 2-1 on shots, and they outshot them 2-1 on shots on target. It looked really bleak for Inter Miami there for a bit. But in the 76th minute, Sadio Allende came on for Baltasar Rodriguez in the second half. And I was thinking, oh, please, this is such a bad move for Javier Mascherano. This is a bad move. Okay. And Sadio Allende has been probably the worst player in the starting 11 for Inter Miami this season. He's been the worst player. He's very inconsistent. They make that substitution. I think, okay, they've really sealed their fate. But he made a difference immediately. Jordi Alba, who I also have to mention, had some incredible crosses in this game for Inter Miami. He whipped in a beautiful ball, an absolute beautiful ball to Sadio Allende, and he got pulled down inside the box. He got pulled down inside the box by Brekalo, and that was Brekalo's second yellow. Orlando City had like 4 yellows in this game. They were just accumulating yellows left and right. But he got his second yellow, and I think it was a clear penalty. I think it was a clear foul inside the box. And so they get life. And Messi converts, and it's 1-1. Now, I have to mention earlier before that, there was a foul inside the box on Busquets, on Angulo, and he definitely fouled him. It was all body, no ball, okay? All body, no ball. 100% fouled him. And they didn't review it or anything. That should have been a penalty. If we're being honest, we got to keep it fair. That was a penalty. That was a penalty that they did not get a call for, Orlando City. They fouled him inside the box and didn't get a penalty. So Inter Miami was very fortunate to not get that call, and that saved them 1-1, okay? Well, in the 88th minute, Orlando City's playing down to 10 men. 10 men, and they look gassed at this point. They look very tired. And you can just see that they're hurting around, huddling around Messi. There's like 6 or 7 defenders on Messi at one time, and there's just all this space out wide when Messi has the ball. Just like it just clears out. Like there's so many people out, like there's so many people around him that it's wide open, out wide. So I just thought Orlando City was focusing way too much on clogging up the midfield, which is a good formula to beat Inter Miami. So that they're huddling around Messi. And then in the 88th minute, Messi plays off to his boy Jordi Alba, and then he plays back to him on the wide, and he shoots it wide right, and not wide right, but he shoots it right and scores on Pedro Gallese to take the lead in the 88th minute to go 2-1 over Orlando City. And then you kind of think, okay, they're going to win this game. Orlando City's gassed. They're up 2-1. They're at home. It's over. Okay. And to put the icing on the cake, Talasco Segovia scores in added time to go up 3-1. And Orlando City loses this game 3-1. First time Inter Miami beats Orlando City this year. First time they beat them this year in 2025 at home in Leagues Cup to go to the final. Absolutely incredible comeback. Very entertaining game. It was very enjoyable from start to finish. It was not a boring. I mean, maybe if you look at the scoreline, you think, oh my God, that was probably a terrible first half. It wasn't. It was very entertaining. Wasn't lethargic. Playing the ball around slowly, no build-up play. It was a very entertaining game. I was very entertained. I thought it was an exciting game, and it was a great comeback. And I feel sorry for the Orlando City fans who were going to feel like they got robbed of a penalty because they did. They did. And who knows how the game would turn out if that hadn't happened. But this was, I do think Miami earned this win. I do think they earned this win. And now they're going to get a chance to play in the Leagues Cup final against either LA Galaxy or the Seattle Sounders. They're going to have to travel. They're going to play on Sunday in the final against the LA Galaxy or the Seattle Sounders, which is the game that's about to start. We will see who they play in the final. But Orlando City will play for third place to win a Champions Cup spot against the loser of that next game. And it was just an incredible game. Very exciting. Just very exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. You guys will have to let me know, who was your player of the match? Messi had 2 goals in this game. He had another brace this year. I think he's got 10 goals in Leagues Cup, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's 10 goals in tournaments outside of the MLS. But he had an incredible game. He was the player of the match. And we'll see what happens if they can win their second Leagues Cup in 3 years. We'll see what happens. Who was your player of the game? What did you guys think about this match? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of my videos. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.